could not. I was very bad. My knees hurt. My legs hurt. My legs incredibly in the chin part of the leg would ache incredibly as I walk. My diabetes levels were extremely high. We had, I mean, they were at insulin levels, so it was very very bad. We had my high blood pressure was extremely bad. Uh, Health wise, I think I was in the worst point in my life at that moment. So one of the things that happened is my wife is, at that moment I just had met, and one of the great things was that she was a medicinal doctor. So she started like, try to help me get better. And throughout, we found different types of companies where we were trying to utilize the products, which we ended up purchasing out and trying to get into a company that we were trying to form together at that point. Meanwhile, what we found the product throughout a friend of ours was called Nutraburst, which is a mutual friend of ours from Jack Fallon and myself put us together. That's how Jack and I met. Jack was trying to look for a master distributor for his company to create a network marketing company. I was looking really just for a phenomenal product, just to add on to the product line that we were already putting together. So we kind of met, we sat down, and then at that point, really, crashed heads where we figure out, what it was like love at first sight. We had the same vision to help people out. So we went forward with this company. Now, speaking very quickly though, we took about maybe a year to program the comp plan, the design over to Life Changes into the system. Into that point, when we were about to launch, I collapsed and I went into the hospital. Okay. When I went into the hospital, the doctors literally had given me 6 months more of life left because they figured out I had a cancer. And I had a cancer right next to my heart, and it was like right between my heart and my lungs. So it's like right there. It could go either way, and it could take me out. Very easy. I had another cancer in my stomach, and the beginnings of minor tumors in other places around my body, which was really, really traumatic for us, especially when the doctor says you have 6 more months of life. Now, at that point, he was talking to me, and there was a lot of blah, 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 blah talking when I just got up and walked out of the hospital because I figured one thing. The doctor had just given me 1 point. And that point was I had 6 months more of life left. If I had 6 months more of life, I had to do something with myself. I had to do something at that moment. I could not stop. I could not, I had to build because at that moment we had spent all our money building this company. We had invested, between Jack and I, we went 50-50 investing in everything we could so we can have everything for you guys to start running. And as we are moving forward, 6 months later, utilizing the products that my wife had found and we had put together for Total Life Changes, like the Gano dermalucidum, we used it with the tea, we used, the Nutraburst, we used various other products, but you know what? Everything started fading, as in the problems that I had medically, the weight started dropping incredibly. I started drinking the tea at a gallon a day. Yes, as you guys can hear, a gallon a day of the tea. I started drinking, and I started dropping weight like you couldn't believe. I was not using ACG yet because we didn't have ACG at the time, but we started dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping, and within probably the first 6 months, I lost a total of about 100 and about 20 pounds, which was pretty amazing to me in the amount of weight and how fast that weight just came off of me. The other point was that I started using the ACG, and throughout that small point, I did lose 30 pounds within 2.5 weeks with the ACG at that point. But yet I could not continue with the ACG due to the fact that I had that cancer, and cancer and ACG really do not mix very well. And I was just afraid that I was going to go to, it was not going to be good for me. Yet it was nothing negative happened to me with the ACG, by the way. So, but it was that scare factor that I had that I didn't want to risk. It was all close to my heart. But throughout that fact, I've gone down so much weight, literally from a point that, I can literally tell you, my weight was amazing. And for a lot of you who are overweight, maybe you can understand what I'm going to tell you right now. I was literally so overweight that I had to shop at stores that the store was literally, the windows were all tinted. You literally had to ring a doorbell, and they had to see who you were before they opened the door so you can shop. The worst kind of clothing, literally the cheapest looking pants you can ever find with that stretchy sides. I was size 56 waistline with a stretch band on the pants. So just imagine how big that was. And I stretched the whole thing. So it was just tremendous. The shirts they sold there were ugly. I mean, it was like curtains that somebody didn't want and they made shirts out of them. It was just horrible, horrible, horrible. To the point now that I started losing so much weight, and I remember this, and I can tell you right now and I can remember the day I literally walked into a Costco and picked up one shirt, and I always would try on some clothes, even though I knew it didn't fit me. But this day I tried on a double X or triple X shirt. It was actually a triple X shirt that I put on, and it fit. I mean, it fit. You can put the buttons on. It fit. I mean, the buttons were still a little stretched. I mean, it looked like a button was going to pop, but yet it fit. You know what? That excitement that I had, because I could never pick up clothes where everybody else could. And for me to be able to pick up a shirt where somebody could, pick up a shirt, like regularly, like a store or Costco or regular, it was just exciting to me. And a lot of people ask me, how do you let it get that far? You know what? I was sick. And a lot of people can understand I had just gone through a very bad operation several years back where my gallbladder exploded. I almost died at that point, inside of my body. And it was just, everything just went haywire after that. It was just bad. So health-wise, I was not good. And the liver was not good. Everything was not good. My blood pressure was not good. But after you start losing the weight, you can literally start feeling better. You start feeling more energy. You want to get up in the morning. You feel happier. I was telling you that the minute I got one of those shirts and they fit, and they literally closed. You know what? I bought the whole set, whatever I can find, whatever colors they had. I got everything. Every single shirt they had of that size, I grabbed it and I took it home and I was excited. Yet my wife at that moment, she told me to take it off because obviously it looked too tight, but yet it closed. And I don't know how much I can tell you how the emotion was. It was like the emotion when I first saw my baby walk. Is that emotion that, that it was the excitement that, wow, finally clothes are, they're fitting me, normal clothes. That was just phenomenal. And when you feel that, I mean, literally, you can feel it in your heart how your life is now changing. It's a tremendous adventure that I've had. Especially right now, we're talking about 5 years later. I was supposed to die 5 years ago, and not only am I still alive, but the last test I had a full body scan. I have no signs of cancer. I have no signs of diabetes. I have no signs of high blood pressure. I have no signs of aching bones. Nothing hurts. I feel great. And I can tell you 100%, I didn't use no medication. I didn't use no pharmaceuticals. I used Iaso T, and I used the Iaso Gano. I used the Iaso Chaga. I mean, I've been using these products, even before you guys had them in the market. A total changes. It's just phenomenal. I'm in love with what we're doing, and I'm in love with helping people change their lives. That's what we're doing here. That's our mission.